After 23 years in exile, one of Saddam Hussein's leading opponents returns to Iraq on a secret mission. The writer, Kanan Makiya, who has catalogued Iraqi human rights atrocities over several years, is now regarded by Iraq as an enemy of the state.
2 months ago, I saw photocopies of a few documents taken from the security headquarters of Suleimaniye, Duhok, Kirkuk, and Erbil. They suggested that something truly terrible, beyond belief, had happened here before the invasion of Kuwait put Iraq so very temporarily on the map of the world's conscience.
The documents were captured by Kurds at the end of the Gulf War.
The evidence is somewhere out there, in large quantities, hidden in the mountains of Kurdistan in various collections. With these documents, the modern history of a criminal state could be rewritten from the point of view of its most secret paperwork. One of the most closed states in the world would become the most transparent. This is not a journey into the past. It is about how people's lives today are shaped by a legacy of cruelty and pain. I want to see the horror face to face and then record it. But I don't want it to paralyze me. I want to plumb the depths of what all of us seem to be capable of. Maybe even this journey is not about Iraq anymore.
Kanan was last in Iraq the year Saddam's Ba'ath Party came to power. First stop is Zaho. It was here that the coalition forces set up these safe havens, but they've long since departed.
There's something ghost-like about this town, eerie and unreal. It's there and not there. Where are all the people? I feel it can dissolve before my eyes. It's isolated pockets of shadowy situations. It's like the whole of Iraq. I have a strong sense of insecurity. It's all so fragile. Anything can happen. I find it ominous that even now, a year after the war, Ba'ath Party slogans are still so pervasive. This one is from Saddam himself. We want the conscience of each Iraqi to be his watchdog.
We move on to Shaklawa, main headquarters for the Kurdistan Front and the first stage in our search for the secret documents. We are guarded 24 hours a day by Peshmerga, Kurdish guerrillas. These Iraqi Shiites seek sanctuary here after their rebellion in the south was brutally put down. It's a twilight zone. Everyone is suspicious of everyone else.
They're all from different cities in the south. They want a safe haven in the south.
They hope to meet their families here who are trying to escape the aftermath of the Shiite rebellion in the south but are being blocked by the Iraqi army. The secret police files are spread among the 8 organizations which make up the Kurdish Front. All are jealously guarding their own collections of documents. The reception is cool. We are finally allowed access. We drive to a building containing material never intended to see the light of day. The contents are outlined to us by the man in charge.
وهناك وثائق خاصة بتحري أفكار الناس.
صحيح. تحري
أفكار الناس. هناك فوائد مثلا العائلة الفلانية مو بس أشخاص، العائلة الفلانية متكون من هالقد عائلة وأفكارهم هي شيء ومنتمي إلى فلان حزب يعني وتصنيف آخر بالعملاء المندسين يعني عملائهم المندسين داخل الأحزاب وداخل حتى داخل الأماكن العامة مثلا حتى بائع أحذية لازم يكون منتمي إلى دائرة الأمن.
Nobody can find the key to the archive, so we return later. The exact location is kept secret for fear of government reprisals, although the Iraqi regime still vigorously denies any human rights abuses.
فهذه الغرفة كان غرفة الأغابر يعني غرفة سرية جدا. كانوا مبين إنه يسدون من وراء من يدخل الموظف ويسده من يطلع يعني إلا موظف اختصاصي يشتغل بالأغابر.
The densest collection of files in this room concern those that probe into people's thoughts, التحري بأفكار الناس, and that is this collection here, plus that collection there.
The files record affiliations to opposition parties, family political loyalties, and personal weaknesses. Every shred of personal information seems useful to the
This is a new
secret
book.
police.
It's not been used.
These are family photographs taken from Kurdish prisoners to identify their next of kin for future reference.
This big fat file that we see here is called the Index of Saboteurs. So, and there follows the list of the name, parents, date of birth of all people who are in this local province, in this city.
And working with three parties.
This one is entitled Names of Families Living in Erbil Settlements. Here we have the full name for the head of the family under this column. This column is the number of members in the family. This column is the name of the family and the tribe. The current location, residential location. The name of the persons arrested from the family. Further observations. So we'll see the number of members of family, 10, 12, 2, 5, 6. If you add all those, you get the total number of people in this file. Look at all these pages. So all these families, all these thousands of people recorded in this index have people who've been arrested. Another index, called the Book of Records for those who've been executed. Flowery cover. It's like a high school notebook, which has then been penciled up and written in. Blue. Handwritten.
The documents show that punishment for an offence is routinely extended to the entire family.
Extremely secret in 1986. We enclose below the complete identity and detailed information on the two subjects of investigation, and we did not inform you previously of their running away with the complete information on their families until the third degree. The Ba'ath had a habit of establishing one's family relations, first degree being your mother, father, and sister, second degree being cousins, and then third degree being the next layer of cousins, and so on and so forth. And punishment went by scale of degree of relatives, so they would involve more and more relatives for more and more degrees, higher and higher degrees of your family.
The regular investigation of people's lives is extensive. We find cassettes of bugged telephone conversations between political leaders, but also the daily chat of ordinary people.
Such a strange feeling. You're listening into people's conversation, God knows how many years ago. Their tone, their feeling, and in a room like this. Two housewives chit-chatting over the phone, that's all it is. He gave him some money, his relatives gave him some money. Yes, he's your right. No, you mustn't. What we have here is a mixture of fact and fiction assembled together in files, which then create new facts that are then imposed back again upon the world and in turn create new fictions. What is this? Is this the way the world is? Or is this the way the world is imagined to be? Or the way the world is constructed and decided it ought to be? You can't tell any longer. It's all one great big jumble. Look at the paper.
We move on to Suleymaniye, to one of the main regional secret police headquarters in Kurdistan. It's the source of many of the documents looted by the Kurds. The eye, ever watchful, is the symbol of the security system in Iraq. The headquarters here in Suleymaniye was the first thing to be torched when the town rose against the Iraqi regime in March last year.
So much pain echoes in these corridors. So much suffering written into the walls.
Prisoners with arms bound behind their backs were hung from these hooks and confessions beaten out of them.
This death cell reminds me of the Shiite shrines in Najaf and Karbala, which I visited in my youth. The only time I've seen this is in these shrines, which are gold and silver, colored lights, decorated ceramics all over. People come up, they grab the bars like this, they scream, they shout, they kiss the bars, they scrape their heads like this against it. And then before leaving, they tie this, but they're usually pressing with thongs, grabbing from everywhere. I usually stand away, I get afraid from the scene, and pull back. To find it here, it's macabre. This is a religious habit, a ritual, a rite, and there's something else in this horrible place. The whole building is like a hospital. You're working. What's the purpose of it? You investigate human beings, you probe into them, you open them up. Physically, you violate the body. The way a surgeon goes into a sick patient, cuts him up, looking for something, disease, in his case, a physical disease. Finds it, closes him up. And then maybe the patient heals. Here, they're looking for some kind of truth. They call it a confession. They extract it also by physically operating on the body in these rooms, in these white-tiled rooms. And when they find it, when the person signs a confession, that's it. On the way out of this dreadful place, I picked up a booklet extolling the ideology of the Ba'ath Party. All the oppressed classes and peoples, those who have had their wealth stolen from them, those who have had the bread taken out of their mouths, those who have had their freedom stolen from them, look forward to the day when Arab history will return to its brilliance.
We're allowed access to other caches of documents throughout Kurdistan.
These people are agents who have been legally armed by the security forces. And this is the kind of arm, the number of the arm, and the degree of their connection with the party, its date of issue from and to. That's the name of the person, date of birth, and address. So these are armed killers. This is the diary of the military intelligence officer in Erbil. And it just concerns his daily notes, scribblings to himself of what he has to do, what's yet to be done, what his boss has just told him he has to do, and so on. So right here, for instance, on the 17th of January, 1990, is an entry that describes the instructions that he has been given as how to rig the elections for the Legislative Council for the Northern Autonomy Area. And we find such items as the importance of remembering not to wear your khaki military uniform and not to carry your arms, because it will look very bad and it will not look like you're a genuine citizen. Another item in this notebook is the fact that anybody who doesn't participate in these elections will be dismissed.
The secret police use standardized forms to detail the personal weaknesses of individuals for blackmail.
Number 1, material things, not inclined whatsoever. Number 2, wine, doesn't drink. Number 3, sex, not interested. Number 4, playing of cards, doesn't play. Item number 15 says, well, how can he be influenced and how can he be bought? And then the conclusion is, with money. This is a file of an organization, how it's been penetrated. And all the red circles say on it, one of ours. This is a very ominous document. They know there are 5 people here in this unit whose names are not known because the man responsible for them ran away. On the other hand, in this division of the group, they know the names of all 7 people who belong to this cell or whatever part of the military organization that they've discovered the structure of here. Now, why do they not know this? Because the man who was responsible, who could have told who these are, presumably these are organized on cell structure where no one else knows, has run away, has succeeded in getting away. Here, he has obviously been caught, tortured, and given the names. Here, I have the list of people who have been executed from this organization, the Kurdish branch. Obviously, it has been thoroughly penetrated, as this diagram indicates. They've tortured the people first, discovered the structure of the organization, and then executed them. And here, I have their personal papers of the dead people. Here is someone's notebook with telephone numbers. That's who the person is, presumably. Their identity cards, their school cards, very young. Remnants of a passport. So, people's letters, intercepted by the intelligence. In the name of God, the compassionate, the merciful, to my dear son. I don't feel like reading it. 1985. Is it really even worth making sense of it all? Who would benefit from it? Just untold stories, boxes and boxes of people's lives extracted under torture and by furtive methods of one kind or another, by treachery, deceit, lying. That's what all of this is.
Our search for material from Saddam's Ba'ath Party and security archives extends into the Souk of Sulaymaniyah. Plunder from local security headquarters includes videos now on sale here.
Often states that routinely torture people have a mania for recording what they do on paper, in sound, and on videotape. The Ba'ath have a passion for video technology. I wonder how many tapes there are in the vaults of the secret police in Baghdad.
This is a home movie looted from the house of a secret policeman. It shows him and his colleagues enjoying a wedding party. Just a couple of years later, many of these partygoers were killed during the Kurdish uprising. Our search continues into Suleymaniye's video parlors. The customers are watching a video made by the secret police. The man being interrogated has been drugged.
Human beings the world over exhibit morbid fascination with violence, with cruelty. Or could this kind of voyeurism be necessary for remembrance? People seem to want to know that it actually happened just like that. Each generation has to relearn the pain.
The Ba'ath video public executions for public distribution to extend their rule of terror. We've edited the material. After the firing squad, several officials empty their pistols into the bodies. Another government video shows how high-ranking officials, including the current Prime Minister, dealt with Shiite prisoners in southern Iraq just after the Gulf War. This too has been edited. Been edited.
I came here as a child, and I have such fond memories of being here on holiday with my father. How things have changed. The horror is everywhere. It surrounds us. In the Ba'ath's view of the world, everyone must have a file. Therefore, everyone is potentially treacherous. No human being is ever wholly ordinary, unworthy of a file. Enemies are all around. Most people live in a twilight zone. They follow orders blindly. They don't question. They choose not to know. Evil of this kind, on this scale, its origins is in the ordinariness of people. Every other person on the street here has a story. But no one knows the whole story, the sum of all the stories, how they all fit together, and what gives them meaning.
The stories begin to accumulate. At a Peshmerga base on the road to Kirkuk and not far from the front line with the Iraqi army, we are presented with a list of names of 14,000 missing men, women and children. Lists like this one are being haphazardly compiled throughout Kurdistan, and the number of missing people may run into hundreds of thousands. A resettlement camp at Koshtapa, south of Arbil, is now populated mainly by women and children. In 1983, the Iraqi army rounded up thousands of men and boys from here, who then disappeared without trace.
The true horror of Koshtapa is not in the fate of the dead, it is in the lives of the living. The women of this camp were routinely raped and abused for 8 years by the soldiers surrounding them. Not all the children born here have Kurdish fathers. Traditional religious codes of honor and shame have made outcasts of many of the women. Some even get rejected by their own families. Many became prostitutes who plied their trade on the streets of Erbil and Baghdad. To my mind, Kushtapa is a microcosm for what the Ba'ath are doing to the whole of Iraqi society.
How many relatives has she lost? In the valley of Balisan, we found more evidence of what happened to the missing people. Not much remains of Sheikh Hassan, which was destroyed in April 1987. These are the survivors of one of Iraq's first chemical attacks against its own population. We are shown the remains of a chemical bomb. The attack on this village was the beginning of a new campaign by the Iraqi regime to, in effect, wipe out Kurdish rural life. Classified documents reveal that larger and larger areas were now being mapped out, inside of which all villages were to be systematically eliminated. The operation, later codenamed Anfal, was first authorized by a directive from Iraq's ruling body, the Revolutionary Command Council, dated March 1987. This video of the attack, which has never been broadcast before, was made by Kurds in the Iraqi army. It is the only filmed actuality of a Kurdish village under chemical attack. The plumes of smoke are poison gas. Villagers fled for their lives where they could. Some 300 gas victims escaped to the towns and sought treatment in Erbil's military hospital. 4 years on, this eyewitness is still afraid to show his face.
And the government prevent the doctors treating these people. And the second night, they took to a big building as a prisoners. They remained in that building for a few days. And after that, they took these people to unknown place and they buried them alive.
Their bodies were recently discovered in a mass grave. People's identities could only be established from the remnants of their clothing. They were then reburied in the local cemetery. This fort in Duhok, now populated by refugees, was used as a transfer camp for people rounded up from destroyed villages. Some 8,000 male Kurds who entered through these gates in 1 month alone in 1988 were later reported to have disappeared. Missing people were referred to in official documents as the lost ones of the Anfal.
Anfal in the Quran means the spoils of battle, and the lawful division of those spoils among Muslims. In Ba'ath's terminology, the Quranic reference is used to give religious authority and legitimacy to the new policy towards the Kurds, who are now being equated with kuffar, or unbelievers. Kurdish land, why even Kurdish lives, were halal. That is permitted to the Ba'ath. They could do anything they wanted with them.
The word Anfal means, what does it mean to you? To uproot, to genocide and to kill everything. Okay, when did the word first get invented for you?
I heard in 1988, of course, and also the Iraqi radio said we will begin the first Anfal and second Anfal, third Anfal. They have the first Anfal. We liberated all the area which was under control of the guerrilla in the east.
This video, shot secretly just after an Anfal operation, shows what happened in the Balisan area. Baghdad radio referred thereafter to the heroic operations of the Anfal. Public buildings such as the former Ba'ath Party headquarters in Sulaymaniyah, filmed here, were named after it. We follow the trail of the Anfal into a region 80 miles northeast of Kirkuk. In May 1988, the Iraqis sent thousands of Kurdish militia loyal to the government into the hills to encircle the villages below. Their job was to capture refugees fleeing from the attack. Kurd was used against Kurd. The villages were bombarded by artillery and aircraft, attacked with gas, and then razed after the survivors were taken away to transfer camps.
The scale of the destruction was phenomenal. It takes enormous effort to destroy like this. Wells were concreted over, graveyards leveled. More thought and planning went into destruction in Kurdistan than anything else.
The remains of some 60 people were recently placed in this special cemetery. But what happened to the survivors?
The people who survived that bombing, they've been captured and took it away by Anfals. Then after a while they released the old men and women, and they keep the young men and the young women and the children.
So are we talking of hundreds of people?
We could say more than 1,000 people.
We're now just a mile away from the front line with the Iraqi army on the road to Kirkuk. We've come here to visit the nearby camp of Shuresh. In the first and second campaigns of the Anfal, the women and children were separated from the men at transfer points. Then the men of fighting age would disappear. Everyone else would be resettled in a place like this. Desperate for news, they show us with their fingers how many relatives they've lost. They've no idea whether they're alive or dead. So what happened to all these missing people? Documents found in towns like Sulaymaniyah provide us with further clues.
This is a document straight from the President's office, his own personal office, Department of General Security. 2,532 people and 1,869 families, numbering 9,030 people, have been sent to the army headquarters, popular army headquarters. They are among those who have been captured during the Anfal operations. Nothing. The great heroic Anfal operations, the document says. And this is for further information. Notice, they do not say that they killed people in the Anfal operations. They make a specific effort to simply say that they've disappeared.
The 1988 Anfal campaign is no secret in Iraq. During our visit, an honorary master's degree was awarded to this man, Ali Hassan Majid, a cousin of Saddam Hussein, specifically for his role in commanding Anfal military activities in the north in 1988. The Kurds so hated Majid that his palatial home in Kirkuk was amongst the first to be looted in the uprising in March 1991. From here, he planned and executed the Anfal campaign. This was raised with Majid during recent peace negotiations with Kurdish leaders. One of these, Dr. Mahmoud Osman, was there.
We want to know two things. First of all, what happened to these people? Are they killed or not? Secondly, if they are killed, let's know where are they. And he became angry. He said, well, every time you raise it, last time the delegation raised it, this time you raise it again. This, we discussed this point, it's finished. We raise it again, because that means you want only to just irritate me, because I was responsible, I was executing orders, but this happened, many things happened between us and you, chemical weapons, these are all, let's say, finished. We are now in a new stage, we negotiate. I told him, I said, we cannot never forget it, we can never forget it.
During our search through the documents, we stumbled on an extraordinary confirmation of the role played by Majid in the Anfal campaign.
This is a tape of Ali Hassan al-Majid, the head of the Organization for the Affairs of the North, with his Internal Security Committee, dated 22nd of January 1989.
العوائل المخربين والكذا والمدري ايش. القيادة العامة يجيبوا لي اياها. قلت انا على راسي. لكن رعايتهم ادفنهم بالشفرات. هاي رعايتهم. ونعرضهم بالتلفزيون. هذول سلموا. يعني راح اخليهم طيبين يا اخي. زين وين احطهم لهذا البشر هالكثر؟ قمت اوزع بيهم على المحافظات. ولهناك من هنا البوكلينات ادزها والشفرات.
If ever there was a war criminal who deserved to be tried, his name has got to be Ali Hassan Majid.
At a Kurdish military base just outside Sulaymaniyah, we meet Temur, who says he was only 10 years old when he was taken with his family to a transfer camp in Kirkuk in 1988. There, he says he watched his father with the other men being stripped, manacled and driven off in trucks. With his mother, sisters and other villagers, he was loaded into a covered lorry and travelled through the desert without food nor water.
Did anyone in the wagon die as you drove down from Kirkuk towards the Iraqi-Saudi border? What did you think was going to happen to you? Now you reached the border. When they opened the doors of the wagon, what was the first thing you saw? How many holes? Were there 5, 6, or 7? And how many people in each hole? How many people in each wagon? Were women crying? Were children crying? What was happening? You just wanted to die and get it over with. So now the order was given and the shooting started. How did you escape? Did you look into the first soldier's face? What did you read in his eyes? And he's the one who shot you? And about how many men were standing around, shooting into the hole? Could you hear people shouting, as well as the sound of the bullets? The soldiers went away. They did the shooting and immediately went away.
Taimur walked until he came upon a Bedouin encampment. They took him in, dressed him as an Arab boy, and kept him hidden in Samawa for 2 years. He is a survivor from the end phase of the Anfal. Now the Ba'ath were planning to exterminate everyone.
We finally reached the southern region of Kurdistan, near Hanakin, just a mile north of Iraqi lines. This fort was dynamited and abandoned by the Iraqi army just a few weeks before we arrived. These trailers were used to ferry large numbers of Anfal victims in 1988, who then disappeared.
Until recently, I thought Anfal was a name from the Quran. Today it means for me the routine mass murder of at least 100,000 Kurds. One day, I believe we will find their graves in the desert west of Samawa, close to the Saudi border. Who is responsible? Is every Iraqi responsible? So many Kurds could not have perished if other Kurds had not herded them out of their villages to their deaths. Are the Kurds responsible? Is every Arab responsible? Millions of words have been written about the destruction of 400 Palestinian villages by Israel, and rightly so. But why is it that not one Arab has written one word about the destruction of 4,000 Kurdish villages by Iraq, an Arab state? Maybe the Allied governments are responsible. In 1988, they were Saddam's friends. And while the Iraqi uprising was being crushed, the Allies turned their backs on the slaughter while encamped near the Anfal graves. It is enough to be human, to be responsible. The Anfal is a crime against humanity. Its perpetrators must be tried by an international court. If everyone is responsible, then everyone must sit in judgment. For in the end, responsibility means we sit in judgment upon ourselves.
You wanted me to say something here. The only appropriate response, I think, is silence and shame.